to do something here.
So many ways to invite people to come to.
Hi guys, I'm seeing the same people on this call that I did on the new distributor one, so that's good to know. We'll change it up a little bit because I don't want to be repetitive. So okay,
I had Ingrid who jumped on so they know how to train theirs. that makes sense.
They're new distributors.
Mm-hmm.
It does. But okay, so that does make sense. And I think there's a couple new people from. So okay, the two of you that weren't on the earlier call, I just did a new distributor training call that went over just real basics on how to get started. And I kind of wanted to separate you guys out if you are at executive level, because you kind of know the ropes. You're getting into the daily routine. You've gotten some customers under your belt. You've gotten some distributors, and now it's like really time to start building your business up to diamond level, right? That's always our goal, to get to that first leadership level. So besides the basics, and I'm just going to recap them very briefly, if you're not doing these basics, you absolutely need to be doing them. And that is on social media. You need to be growing your followers, posting, and then working some sort of hundreds list. Okay. Those three things need to be happening every single day. Whether you're having a great day or a bad day, or a great month or a bad month, you need to be doing them very consistently to grow your business. So the kind of what I wanted to add on top of the new distributor training for you guys is that this level is a level where you can start focusing on charting and building your chart. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to build your business. You can just enroll customers and distributors and just have them all right under you, and that is wonderful if that's what you'd like to do. But I do want you to be aware, because a lot of people get all the way up to Ruby or Emerald and they don't even know this is possible. So I want to make sure you guys are aware and what the benefits are of moving your customers and distributors in your chart. Okay, and I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm not saying there's not more than one way, but I want you to be aware and what the benefits are. So every time you enroll a customer or distributor, you are able to move them within 24 hours of their sign up date. It has to be within that. You're able to move them anywhere in your downline. So for instance, why would I want to move a customer? For instance, if I sign up a distributor, I have 30 days for them to get Fast Start qualified for me to earn $100. Okay, so I sign up a new distributor and I get two customers. Say they both bought wraps. Okay, so that's 54 BV. So if I keep those two customers, I make 15% on each customer. It's about $5 on each one. Okay, so I've made $10. If I move those two customers to my new distributor, say, sometimes they get them very quickly, but I want to make sure they get them in 30 days because that's going to help me, right? If I move them to that new distributor, I now make 10% on those customers. So I've lost about $2 for each customer. So I've lost $4 out of the 10. But I still get the 10% and I get a $100 bonus, right? So in my mind, that's what I do. I always get my new distributors Fast Start qualified. That is one instance on how you can move a customer. Whenever I move customers, they are mine to follow up with, to help. I do not give that control over to the other person because they're my source of new distributors as well. So I always keep the communication open with my customer, and the new distributor that I send them to does not contact them unless I want them to for some reason. Okay, so just know that that is a possibility. And so work with your upline. If that is something you want to do to move customers, great, do that. And moving distributors, here is why that's beneficial. So say you are at executive level, you've got two legs, right? 400. Say one of your legs, Susie, takes off and gets to diamond level. She's going to have about 5 or 6 levels underneath her, and you're still executive level. Guess what's going to happen? You're only going to get paid on your top 2 lines, or I don't even know what executive is. I'd have to look at the chart. Maybe it's top 3, but there's going to be levels under her that you are not going to get paid on. So you're not maximizing your check if you do not keep up with the people under you. So that is a really important reason why it's important to promote or stay, just promote as fast as you can, really, especially if you have a runner. You want to maximize that paycheck. I have a girl who is a distributor. She signed up one distributor. That distributor signed up one distributor. So 3 levels down. That third level became an ambassador. She's actually the number 5 earner in the company. Guess how much this distributor's that stayed at distributor level? Her paycheck's about $100, while this other girl, just 3 levels down from her, is making about $50,000 a month. So that is a very extreme example. But if you do not, so that is why we move distributors to promote to diamond, to get to our promotion. If you have a runner, you're going to make a whole hell of a lot more money doing that than building wide and just hoping that one of them also is a runner, if that makes any sense. So I do want you guys to be aware of the. Do you want to say something?
Well, I was going to ask you a question. So this is like, I'm so glad you're covering this, because there's actually like several that I have that are at this level, like executive level, and cannot promote because they don't want to move customers. So here's the common scenario. They're charted for Ruby with non-working legs, non-working distributors. And so instead of moving customers, which, like, if the distributor is, a couple levels down, they don't want to fill it and lose getting paid on that volume. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So what's your advice then? Like, I have a couple of people in this scenario who are executives and cannot promote to diamond. Cannot promote to Ruby because they're holding on to those customers. So as an ambassador, like what's your take on that?
I would just show them the numbers. Like, it's not hard at these levels to calculate exactly what your paycheck is and what it would be in certain scenarios. Just look at the charts and see what percentage you get on each one. But the other thing that is wonderful about this company is compression. So say your distributor under you, Susie, you put a distributor under her, and Susie is just not working anymore. What's going to happen if she's not commission qualified? So she's not going to be commission qualified anymore. She's not running her auto ship, and her customers, if she has some, are eventually going to stop ordering in the long run. Or if she has none, she's not going to be commission qualified. What happens is the distributor you placed under her is going to be paid on as if she is on your top line. She's going to compress up. So now you just pretend Susie's not even there if she's not commission qualified. And those levels that are showing in your tree viewer, so if that distributor's on level 3, you'll look in your commissions and it'll say she's on level 3, but it'll say paid as level 2 or level 1. And that compression is huge. So when you place someone and that person quits, who cares? All of that volume compresses up. It doesn't compress up chart-wise, but it compresses up on how you get paid. So, and I know that's kind of confusing, but if Susie has like 4 distributors under her, you don't have 4 distributors on your top line now. You still only have 1 leg, but they're all going to get paid as if they are on your top leg. So that's just something that's super important to know. Take compression into account, and also just kind of do the numbers and calculate them, what percentages you're getting on each line. And you can use Tree Viewer. It says what level they're on to kind of see. But you guys, it's your paychecks are going to be kind of small beans until you get to diamond. So if you're really bound and determined to build wide, get to diamond first, then build wide. What happens at diamond? So right now you get $100 bonus on every distributor you enroll, right? When you get to diamond, you get $100 for every distributor you enroll, plus $80 for every distributor you enroll, plus $80 for every distributor they enroll, and $80 for every distributor they enroll, and they enroll, and they enroll. So all of a sudden, this little $100 bonus has turned into something that is huge. I've known someone to get $50,000 just in these fast start cab bonuses in a month. And it just goes up from there. At Diamond, it's 180 for your personally and 80 for non-personally enrolled distributors. And it goes all the way up to about 250, I think it is, for Ambassador, for every single distributor. That's crazy, you guys. If you are not tapping into those, you're missing out on a huge amount of money. So if you are worried about $5 here and there, you're holding yourself back from like $100,000 a month. So that is my take on charting. And it is okay if you want to build wide and you are just bound and determined to do it. You can make money that way. You can get the $600 a month bonus for getting 60 customers and maintaining those customers. It's a lot of work. I just think it's easier to chart and easier to just get to ambassadors as quickly as you can. And by the way, the Duns, there's a whole thread in the Ambassador Club on building wide versus charting, and 100% of the people that are at the top chart. They place distributors and customers. The Duns say build until you get to ambassador and then build wide. That is their advice. They are multimillionaires, so I think they're making about $200,000 a month right now. So I mean, just take advice from people that are making a lot of money. That's how we all got to that point, is by charting. So just look at it instead of an emotional standpoint, like that you're giving someone away or giving someone to someone that's not working as hard as you. You're building your paycheck, and I'm telling you how to maximize it. So that's kind of my answer to that. And you will find other opinions, but that's my opinion.
I agree too, and I always say that the publicity you get from promoting, like if you move them and promote, and then people see you promoting and doing well, it just brings that much more attention to your business, and you're much more likely to sign new distributors to replace those dead legs, right?
Right. Yeah, and you can't talk about your income, but what you can do is you can say, I'm at Ruby level, and Ruby level averages this a month. That's the only time you can talk about your income is when you promote. So you can say what that promotion level averages. If you're a distributor making $10,000 a month, no one's ever going to know. And I don't think it's even possible. I mean, you'd have to have hundreds and hundreds of customers a month. Yeah, you just make more when you're following that chart. You get paid on more levels down, and more bonuses are opening up. So yeah, diamond level is the key because it's that leadership level, and you get those bonuses that I talked about. You guys, this is a really small group. Do any of you have any questions? Like, I think I've talked to a couple of you. Well, maybe not a lot of you, but is there something that you feel is really holding you back in your business from getting to Ruby? We're talking a lot about charting, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it real briefly. It's not super important. But is there anything that you think, like, do you feel why do you feel like maybe your leaders are going faster than you? Is there something holding you back that you're stuck on, either mentally or just that you feel that you need help with? Does anyone want to jump in there? Okay, everyone's awesome. That's fine. If your business is going superbly, then
Ingrid.
Yes, go ahead.
So I feel like the one thing I'm struggling with is sealing the deal.
Okay. Yeah, so getting people. Yep, that does make sense. Okay, so here's my disclaimer, and I talked about this on the earlier call. 9 out of 10 people are probably not going to order or respond to you, and you just need to be okay with that. You don't need to put it in your head that you're doing something wrong. So always be learning on how you can do things better, but don't think you're doing something wrong, because there is a high percentage, and we all experience it. I do not have 100% of people that I talk to order. And it's just kind of the name of the game. So what I do is I just focus on growing my list of people I'm talking to. So the more people I have to contact and follow up with, the better I'm doing that month. Okay. So that's first. Secondly, there's no exact thing you can say. Every single conversation is going to be different, whether you're talking to a customer or distributor. But what I can say is keep it very, very simple and to the point. My biggest thing that's helped me lately with distributors is them hearing my voice. So important. Almost none of them will call me because it's too scary. So what I do is I send them voice memos through text, or Facebook Messenger has a really easy voice messenger app, and I just record my voice, do these little 1-minute snippets, and I say, hey, you know, my kids are running around. This is just a lot easier for me to send you these. And I just tell them about the business, why I like it. Like, I'll first ask them, so here's my distributor. I first ask them, have you heard of It Works? Have you tried the product? So I know where I'm starting from. They answer that. If they haven't, if they have no idea, give them a really short description of our products. And then I say really simply what I do. You know, I work on social media. I have all of this training for you. And I don't have to carry any inventory, which is why I like the business. But my point is, when you send these voice memos, they hear your excitement about the company. They also like realize you're a real person. You're not someone just copying and pasting messages. And so it kind of makes each one unique. That has increased my rate of turnover for like who signs up a distributor by a lot. I really like those voice memos. And also, you know, I'll have people that are super interested as a distributor, and then they don't follow through. And I will point blank, I will say, you know, you were really excited about this. Can you just let me know what is holding you back or what you're worried about so I can address it and get them to respond? And then they come back and they say, oh, it's the money, or I'm just really worried this isn't going to work. And then I can address it, and I can say, this is how I've made it work. This is how, or, you know, if you're just starting out, you're executive level, you guys, you have made this work. This is how I'm making this work. This is the bonus you're going to go for. This is what I'm going to help you with. And just give them some comfort and explain there's no risk to this business. They're spending $99 and they're getting more product than $99, and there's no sales quota. So if it doesn't work, they've paid for the product that they got, and that's it. It's not like other companies where you're required to do $600 auto shipments or you lose your distributorship, okay? So just be confident in that. And then for customers, you know, it's just, I do this too. When I'm ordering something from someone, I'll be like, I'll get all this information, and I'll be like, I don't really want to spend money right now, so I'm just not going to respond for a little while. And that they keep following up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to order that. Oh yeah, I need to order that. They want this product, so don't be afraid to follow up with them. And it's just, and give them convenience. Say, I can place your order. Just, you know, give me your info, and I'll place your order right now, so you don't have to hassle with the website. You know, provide really good customer service. And other than that, with customers, that's about all you can do is follow up with them. You know, that's not, you know, distributors is a lot easier, I think, to seal the deal than a customer is. So with customers, you're just going to be using sales to follow up. You know, hey, I really want you to get that 45% off discount. Can you order today, so that you make sure you get it if there's no deal? Or, hey, we're doing a, you know, buy one get one free deal. If we are, you can use those to follow up. So when we do those promotions, you're following up with tons of customers that you've talked to, or tons of potentials that you've talked to. Sorry, that was kind of long-winded, but go ahead.
No. And until they say no, it's okay to keep following up.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, of course. So put yourself in their shoes. So I want this mascara that I'm like just in love with, right? And I keep seeing the posts. I use this example often because people that are scared to annoy people, if I want that product, I want to see it. Like, I can't get enough of these like products for your hair, anything I'm interested in. I want to see it over and over and over again. I never get sick of them because I want that product, and I'm intrigued about how it works. I don't get sick of it. If they don't want the product, they're going to get sick of it and they're going to leave, and who cares? This is your business. You want the people that want the product, right? Same thing with your customer. If they want to order, they're not going to get mad at you following up with them. And if they don't want to order, they're going to tell you. Like, I'm just not interested. Yeah. They're going to tell you eventually. I don't like to have a ton of messages that it's just me messaging over and over and over. And so I will do it a couple times, and then I'll give them a break. I won't message them until we have a deal, you know, that I can talk about to them. And so, you know, eventually I will, just because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, and my time is better spent finding a new customer than following up with them. But if you have the time, you know, there's no limit until they tell you to stop, really. They've either bought it from someone else, or they don't have the money right now and they're still interested, and you need to be the person there when they do have money and they want to buy. So
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Does anyone else have any other questions? You guys can just, oh, go
I
ahead.
have a quick question.
Sure.
How do you stay organized with your follow-ups? Because I feel like I have a notebook and then I forget to write it down, or I take a screenshot and then I don't add it. What is
I
a good
know.
way?
I'm pretty bad at it too. I do have a spreadsheet that I put, all my potential customers, all my potential distributors, as much information as I can about them, like how to contact them, so that I have a huge list, and I'll update that once every couple weeks. I'll just add people I've been talking to. But in Facebook Messenger, I archive every message that's not a potential. So even if it's a distributor or someone that I'm talking to not about the business, I archive all those messages so that my potentials are at the top. And archive is fine. Like if they message you, it'll pop back up. It just won't show at the top. And so that I'm always seeing my potentials first every time I go into Messenger. That's one way to keep them on top. And then emails, star them or flag them or put them in a folder of potential so that you have those all in one place. And then text, it kind of depends on your phone, but you can organize those as well. You can delete non-important ones, and then you have all your potentials at the top, just so that you kind of have them there. So every time you have time to follow up, they're all there at the very top. And then, yeah, if you're not a person that likes to write them down like me, try to, but that's kind of a way for people that don't like to write them down. The other thing I do is make an appointment in my calendar. So if I talk to someone and they give me a concrete date, like I'm getting paid next Friday, I will make that appointment in my calendar to follow up with them. And you can do that if they don't give you a concrete date. You could say, I'm going to follow up with this person in 2 days. So put it in your calendar. And so any appointments that pop up on your phone calendar, you're following up with them. So that's kind of a little help. But a spreadsheet's a really good idea, especially if you're getting emails from people. You can put that in there, and then you can start using like MailChimp to send out like a flyer, because over a few months and a few years, you're going to get a really long list of contacts that you've talked to. And so using MailChimp to kind of send out a mass email for a BOGO sale is going to get some people from that list interested. So it's a good idea to try to add to that, like a spreadsheet that you can easily transfer over to MailChimp if you have those emails. So not a bad
Thank
idea.
you.
Yeah, sure. If anyone else has questions, just jump in. But so you guys, and I won't keep you much longer. But you guys are all going for Ruby. Ruby is the first rank that you can maintain it by maintenance. So what that means is once you hit that rank, you hit the 4 400 boxes that you need. So 1 executive and 2 400 boxes. You don't ever have to fill those boxes again if you want to maintain by volume. So you can, if you have 4,000 in volume, at least, with no more than 2,000 counted from your strongest leg, which is probably going to be your executive, you can maintain that rank by volume. So what that means is you need 2,000 in volume outside of your strongest leg. So the 2 400 boxes need to make up 2,000. So that's a lot, right? 400 and 400 is only 800. So what that means to maintain by rank is you almost want to be charted to emerald or to diamond, so that you have all those people, even though you're at ruby rank, you have all that volume very balanced so that you can maintain by rank. So that's the first one you can maintain by rank, and that'll get more and more important as you go up the ranks. Because think about it, at diamond level, you have, I think it's like 25 distributors. To get every single one of those to 400 every single month is almost impossible. So the more you can stay balanced with your legs, starting at all the way at ruby level, the better. So start thinking about that now, how to balance your volume. And as you get up to diamond, you want it very balanced. 5,000 in one leg, well, or more, but at least 5,000 from everything outside of your strongest leg. That makes sense. So yeah, if no one else has any questions, I hope this was kind of helpful. I just wanted to go into some things that maybe you guys are dealing with outside of that new distributor training, of just posting every day. So
Is it okay if
I
I?
do have
Oh,
a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Melinda. You go first.
No, I just had a question. Like, I got a team finally, and I have them on group messenger, as a group, and like I get no response. Like all day, I was pumped up about this training tonight. Get on the Zoom. It starts in a couple hours, whatever. No response, no response. I'll get a thumbs up. Nobody showed up on the training. And anything that I try to get them into, they just don't. I don't know what to do with my team.
Yeah.
I think
And that's
they're not
really
getting
hard.
involved.
Yeah, that's one of the most frustrating things to me. It's like all you want to do is help these people make money and they won't let you help them, right?
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating. And that happens to everyone. But what I found is just, getting really one-on-one, saying, what can I help you with? I need, like, making it very clear that you need them to message you if they need help. Like, I want you messaging me every single day with a question, because I'm not going to chase you around to ask you. And then if you see them not working, you need to really be clear, like, why are you not getting into your business? What's holding you back? Is it time? Are you worried about something? Are you worried about certain friends or people on Facebook? You need to kind of problem solve what is holding you back from starting your business, and how can I help you? And I mean, if you feel like you are giving them 100%, that is all you can do. There's going to be time. What's that?
Well, today I just kept thinking, because I've not really heard from them in 2 days, 3 days, and I'll put messages out there throughout the day to them and not get a response. So today I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go after 5 more distributors and get them and find people that are going to work. I don't know.
Yes, but Melinda, that you answered your own question. That is 100% what you need to do, because guess what you're doing by doing that? You're leading by example. So they see you getting 5 distributors. They see how you're working. All you need to do is lead by example, right? You can't chase them around. You can't make them work. You can lead by example, and you're going to accomplish 2 things. You're going to become a good leader because they're going to watch you, and you're going to get new distributors that actually want help. So yeah, I mean, that absolutely is what you need to do. Some people, and again, it's probably the majority of people that sign up, aren't going to do anything with it. It's just not the business for them. So you can be there 100% for them. Don't be messaging them so much that it's distracting them from working their own business, because they probably do have limited time. But be there 100%. Know that you're giving them 100% of what you have to train them, and that's all you can do. They either take it or not. So, it's funny that some people just don't want to talk to you, but that's
I just find it crazy because, I know what it took for me to come up with $99 to start the business. It took me 3 months to really okay. And then I really didn't have it when I did start. And I don't understand how somebody wouldn't want to jump in, and I don't know, because I guess my head.
You know what? I can tell you why, because I'm that person. When I started, I didn't want any help. I didn't want someone telling me how to do it. I didn't want someone following up with me. I kind of wanted to just be in my own little cave and figure it out myself. And I didn't relate with the people that I signed up with. I mean, I signed up with my sister, but I'm talking about the people that we signed up with. I didn't think that they were like me. I thought they were kind of weird that they were doing network marketing, because I didn't like network marketing. So I'm just telling you, I am that person. I can understand. And sometimes maybe they just want to be left alone, and that is totally fine. Be there occasionally when they're ready to come to you, be there. But sometimes people just don't need it. And just because they learn a different way, that's totally okay. So try not to take it personally. It just may be their learning style and they need to kind of tiptoe into it. But, I have found some people that's just like something that they're scared about that I can address. Then I try to get that out of them. But other people, it's just that they don't want the help. That's okay. Some people don't need it. So, yeah, so I wouldn't worry. I would just work on building your team. You can control what you're doing. You cannot control what other people are doing. So start with yourself, right? Start with doing steps of success. Start with plugging into training. Do what you want them to do. Okay. And that's the only person that you can control is yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then, by doing that, you're leading by example kind of thing. So yeah, I know it's frustrating. Just know you are building your business and they are not required to do anything for you or for them. You're building your business, right? So, okay. So any other questions? Those are good questions.
Ingrid, I just have two if you have
Sure.
just a few minutes.
I do. I have as much time as you guys want.
Okay. So I'm going to present this the way that it's like usually brought to me. At this level, this is kind of where I feel like executives start to see how people can come and go and fade, and they join and then fizzle out. And I've had some executives who have been in this business for a year or over a year and are just kind of sitting at that level because they have somebody join and they get really excited and they get a couple loyal customers and then fizzle out. And then they'll sign another distributor who does nothing. And so I feel like a lot of times, like when you first start promoting to executive, and you're at that rank, that's when you kind of start to see how not everybody is in this for the long haul, and it can be discouraging. And, when you want to promote really quickly and you're busting your butt and you don't have people on your team doing that same thing, it can be really discouraging, right? And so I know you kind of just touched on that, but like, what would be your advice for an executive who's kind of seen, kind of knows the ropes now and has seen people come and go, and they just don't have the runners under them that they want to have to promote?
Yeah, again, it's back to, I see these people like waiting for a runner, right? When am I going to get a runner? I've enrolled all these people and none of them is a runner. And it's funny because it's like you are the runner, right? You don't need to sit and wait for someone to build your business. You need to build your business. The more you take responsibility of your business, the faster you're going to go. So it's not your upline's responsibility to build your business. It's not your downline's responsibility to build your business. It's your responsibility to build your business. So if you take control of that, wow, now all of a sudden you have something that you can change. You can't change what someone else does, but you can change what you do, right? So become a runner, become your own runner. Enroll more people. You've enrolled 2 and they haven't worked, and then now enroll 3, enroll more. And I promise they're going to catch your energy. If you're the one that has the energy, they're going to catch on to it. If you're excited about your business, they're going to be excited. If you're just sitting around waiting, they're going to sit around and wait. So I know that's easier said than done, but it's so funny how that is actually something that's really holding you guys back if that is the attitude you have towards it. That discouragement because your team's not working. You're holding yourself back by having that mindset. So change it, change how many people you're enrolling. You're enrolling 10 people, enroll 20. I don't care. Like, you can change you cannot change them. And I promise it will follow. I promise they'll get people that are as excited about their business as you are. And they will go, I was completely charted all the way to diamond. I think I was still sitting at ruby level, charted to diamond. When I actually went diamond, not one single leg was the same person. So I had an emerald built, I had a ruby built, and the emerald and ruby I actually used to go diamond were completely different legs that didn't even start until after those were built. So that's it. It can change so quickly, and if you are not there ready for it, you're gonna miss out. So I talked about this a little on the earlier call. There's huge ups and downs with this business, as there is in any sales business. And what you need to do, your work ethic needs to be a straight line, and you're going to get months with really high peaks of customers and you're so busy you don't even know. You're going to have months with so little to do. You're going to be so discouraged. You're not going to want to even do one post. But guess what? You have to. And you're going to stay super consistent. When you're so busy, you don't even have time to post, you're going to post. And when you're so discouraged, you don't want to post, you're going to post. Or however you're working your business. If it's parties, you're going to be booking parties. So that consistency needs to be there, because every month that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have not gotten a single customer this month, I'm still consistent, and the next month I'll get like 20 because of that consistency. Because it, you see the results of your work later, right? So when other people quit posting and they quit because they're getting so discouraged, you're staying consistent, and that's really the only difference between the people that get a lot of customers and the people that don't, is they're riding out those peaks and valleys. So I hope that helps. It's kind of a little tough love, like this isn't how to find your runner, it's how to become your runner, right? Because there's no way to find a runner. There's no way to judge someone on that. So I can't tell you how to get that person. They're just going to show up when they show up, and when you're ready for them to show up. So I hope that
That is so true. It's so true. The other thing I was going to ask is like another like very common thing that I hear at this point, at this level, is I've exhausted my entire warm market. Like I have nobody else who will buy from me. I have nobody else who will join. Everybody I've talked to has said no or not now. And so when they get to this level, it's kind of easy to just like sit and like, what do I do now? Because they feel like they're spinning their wheels because nobody became a millionaire off their grandma buying wow. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what's your advice to someone like when they've exhausted their warm market, where do I go from here to continue to grow my paycheck and promote?
Yeah, that's a good question. And how I answer that is, okay, so people that start on day one and tell me that they have no warm market, they have not one single friend or family member to buy from them, what I tell them is you are at a huge advantage. And that's funny, right? You wouldn't think they would be, but they are. And that's because they are forced to get into their cold market on day one. And so whether you have a warm market or not, you need to be working your cold market from day one, because that huge wall you're going to hit when you're at the end of your warm market is going to be very significant if you have not been building your cold market. So how to do that? Facebook, it's following tons and tons of people every day, friending them, and Instagram, following tons of people every day, or any other social media. Or if you're doing parties, you need to be blitzing every single day. You need to have that cold market, and you need to have it right now. You need to start building it because it takes lots of time. So I didn't have a single friend or family member that I was going to even tell about this business when I started. And so I jumped right into my cold market, and it is a little bit of a slower start. So if you're working your warm market, you can kind of have a faster start while you're, working, building that cold market, and you have those slow months, you're getting into your warm market, right? And all the time you're building that cold market so that you have it there for when you hit that wall of your warm market. And you're constantly making your cold market your warm market, right? You're friending all these people on Facebook. You come to know them. You see their pictures of their kids and all the stuff you're commenting, and that becomes your warm market. You make friends. It's kind of fun, especially if you're friending local people. So yeah, you have to be building that right now. And if you haven't and you're just starting, that's fine. You're gonna hit a wall, and it's gonna be a learning curve on how to talk to people in your cold market. And you just need to give yourself that time to do that. So the quicker you can, the better. So that's my answer to that. So really, if you don't have any warm market, you're actually at an advantage in this business, because you're gonna have to get your feet wet doing that right off the bat. So I mean, definitely work your warm market, but do both. So that would be my advice to that. And no one can get more than like a couple $100 a month off their warm market. It's just not going to happen unless you are like the most popular person in the entire world. I don't know how people would just work off their warm market. You're going to eventually have to get into your cold. So you might as well do it now. So, all right. So are there any other questions before we go? Nothing else? All right, guys. So hopefully I'm going to be commenting on all your congratulation posts about Ruby next month, right?
Yes.
I can't wait. So just you get to Ruby, guys, and then you just do that 3 more times and you're at Diamond, right? Or make 2 more Rubies and you're at Diamond. Okay? That's all it takes. So get to Ruby. And then do it again and do it again and do it again. All right. You guys have a good night. Hopefully this
Thanks,
is helpful.
Ingrid.
Thanks for coming. All right. Bye.
Have a good night.